Today I have a process video using this super old crepe paper. I don't even think that there is a date on it. That's how old it is. I picked up this paper pad or this paper pack from a scrapbook yard sale that I went to, and it had a bunch of like paper kits in it. So it did come with a instruction sheet, which was very difficult to read. It definitely is I can see why crepe paper doesn't do instructions very well. I love the way that this layout came out. It was somewhat close to the way that the layout was meant to be. There were a lot more smaller photos in it. It actually called for 3 photos that are probably 1 by 1, maybe, like really tiny, and then another photo that maybe be 2 by 2. The photo placement I didn't follow at all. So this is where I was talking about where the instructions didn't make any sense, because it said to cut this paper 1 length and then to cut inches, like 5 inches off or something like that, and they didn't add up. So that paper was used somewhere else to create a triangle up in the left corner, so I just went ahead and cut it down a little bit more and used it as that triangle piece. And these are colors that I would never put together by myself, with the black and white stripe and the brown wood grain with the big white flowers on it. It's just not color combos that I normally use, but once everything got down and I got all the photos on it, it really worked really well. I do use the tea dye distress ink to distress all of my edges, and what I decided to do was add a lot of brown accents, so like the tea dye and then a couple other pieces that were brown, and then I went ahead and mounted my photos on black. So it did bring those 2 colors together with the black cardstock, the black background, but then the browns in that brown wood grain, as well as the distress ink that I used. This is a trick that if you are trying to get your papers to line up, go ahead and overlap them as much as possible, and then once you get it down, you can put your T-square ruler down and move it around as needed so that the paper is lined up across the layout, which is what this layout called for. It called for pieces to be tucked underneath that yellow and the green piece. So now that I've got the base part of my layout, which I really like, I like that piece down at the bottom, plus the teal and the yellow piece, and then the black and white. I like that configuration, and I will probably use that configuration again. It may be a different layout showing different ways to use like base pages for your sketches and page kits that you get, how you can take those page kits and make them your own with your own supplies and things like that. This is another thing that I don't think that I would have ever done. This was a border strip in the black and white film strip, and it said to put it on the green paper, which really made that border strip pop, and I really like that. So there is several photos that I'm using. These are photos from when my friend went to the Bahamas, and so they're really boat photos. They're pictures of the boat. Like you can see, it looks like she took a picture like while she was on the island. In that lower left hand side, she got a really close up of the actual name of the ship, and then she and those are both cut down 4x4. I left a 4x6 of a kind of a closer shot of the front of the boat, and then her on the boat. It looks like right before they debarked. And then there's photos of guys working on the boat, and a photo of like the side of the boat with the rescue ships and things like that. And the configuration does change a little bit, and I'll show you guys that in just a minute. I did miss this part. It calls to have 2 of the border strips cut down, so I have that black scalloped border punch sticker that I'm going to put down on either side, and then it also calls for a red triangle border sticker as well, and that goes down right on top of the black one. And unfortunately, I think I lost that video of me putting it down, but you can see it right there. This is where I use my We Are Memory Makers layering guide to cut out the edges, and again, I'm really enjoying using this. I do have a link below if you guys would like to check it out on Amazon. It is probably one of the best things that I bought in recently, and I am loving it. So there was one additional photo that I took out. It was a photo that said "Mind Your Head," and I don't think that I would have taken that picture, but for whatever reason she liked it, so I was like, I really wanted to get that in there. Plus, having those two photos on the far left hand side covered up a lot of that pattern paper. Like it was different with the 4x6 when I cut those down to 4x4s, but when I used the 4x6 on the far right hand side, and I don't feel like I could have cut them down, it just took up too much space. So I pulled out a flip flap from close to my heart and decided that I was going to go ahead and put the two photos that I had already mounted in the flip flap, and then I could still use that one photo that she had, which was the Mind Your photo, or Mind Your Head photo, and that'll go directly on the paper or the layout itself. So I went ahead and tucked in the sticky part of the flap underneath my photo to kind of mask that a little bit. I do cut my page protectors to slip this flip flap on the outside of the page protector. I know some people go ahead and put the flip flap directly on the page protector, which works as well. I just like this effect better. Whatever works for you is really the way it goes. So I did go ahead and mount that Mind Your Head photo on black cardstock as well, and then tucked it underneath the flip flap as well. I did, and you can tell right there's a little bit of, I moved it over a little to the left. I also like doing that because it gives you that, hey, what's going on there, and makes you investigate further. Whereas if they were laying directly on top of each other, you might not notice that. It also called for using one of the border strips down there at the bottom, and the border strips just didn't make any sense. It had words like father's name, surname, rank, a profession of father, rank or profession, condition, age. It was when you were married. Just it was a weird sticker. So I went ahead and used the branding strip of that black and white to put in place instead of that really strange sticker. If you follow my channel at all, you will know that I am not a very floral person. So the fact that I have 3 really large florals as well as 1 small floral on this layout is a really big thing for me. I'm also running really low on fun foam. I have like 6 or 7 sheets left, and I have these pop dots that I hate. I hate them so much, but I bought a bunch of them, and when I say bunch, like 10 packs of them at the expo because they were $1 like years and years ago. And so instead of buying fun foam, I am using the pop dots. And I think the reason that I hate them so much is because I have to use so many of them to get the same effect as the fun foam. I don't like having pop dots just on the edges, because once it gets in your layout, it really does bow in the center, and I just don't like that look. Some people don't care, and that's perfectly fine as well. It just really bothers me. So it's really just a fact that I have to use like 6 or 7 of them on that little flower just to get it to be consistent and flat the way I like it. So while I've been rambling on, I've been adding some of the stickers and the ephemera pieces. This kit is so old that the ephemera pieces came attached, like on a 12x12 sheet of paper. You can see it right down there at the end, at the bottom left. All of the ephemera was there. That's how old it is. Because I don't even think they do that anymore. I decided to add a little of the kind of today's touches. I know there's a lot of folks that tear the edge of the paper and then staple it or adhere it down, so I went ahead and did that. That was not part of the sketch, but I thought that it added just a little bit of interest there to the far left-hand side. Up there at the top, it have a memorable tag, and then a circle with a little doily looking on it, and then another tiny floral. That was the fourth floral that I was telling you guys about. And then I added just a little green circle up there as well. I pulled out my enamel dots, and I ended up using 2 that are in this corally color. It doesn't match any of the things in the layout, but I think it just brings in a different color, a pop of color throughout that really makes the layout shine. So I use that as well as the like aqua teal color that matches the flower on the left hand side. The only date that I'm going to put on this is 2016. It is going to go in her album where she has it'll be in order, so she'll know where it's at. And so I put those on with gold clear stickers. And that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this layout. I have some close-ups as well as the final layout for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layouts, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that's all you're going to get on my channel. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.